Folks, let's look at the amazing history of what we're going to see at 8:30 today. This chart is absolutely extraordinary. We've got recessions along the way of lousy unemployment, the horrific Volcker 80s, if you will, the 90 recession, the slight 2001 recession, and the gloom of 10% unemployment. Daniel Morris, down we go to 4%, and we've even got the ability to get down, some would say, to 3% as well. If it's a better job economy, Dan Morris, why are we so miserable?
Well, I think it's not so much necessarily the perspective on economic growth. To us, still, all the discussion of a potential recession in the U.S. really just seems out of bounds. We don't see a particularly significant risk of that. I think it's much more about expectations for inflation and that being priced into Treasury yields, and then therefore what that implies for the Fed pass. So I don't know that we're necessarily all that pessimistic really on the outlook. Obviously, there's a concern around trade and the risk that that could pose to growth, but we think really it's a question of kind of a new world order for inflation, a change in the Fed's operating model that's really driving Treasury yields as opposed to honest pessimism about the outlook for growth.
Vasileios, is dollar too strong?
That's an interesting question made to someone who has been a dollar bear for quite some time. I think if you look at our fundamental models, the signals that we're getting is that dollar is approximately 7 to 8% overvalued relative to fair value. So I think it's strong, but it's not that strong. I have to say, I have been surprised recently by the fact that it has been too resilient, given the fact that we've seen a massive compression of US versus rest of the world swap spreads and interest rate differentials. And I think that's largely reflecting the trade war risk premium as a safe haven. And that is why you've seen Swiss franc and the yen appreciating on the back of it. But I wouldn't call the dollar too strong, to be honest. Although I am expecting depreciation.